On today's show, students at Rice University are trying to find a way for you to get shots without pain.
An AR that turns your home into your very own survival horror game.
And Swedish scientists are going to put you in someone else's body using virtual reality. Well, probably not you, but there were some other people we'll tell you about. It's Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I'm Ashley Esqueda. Joining me as always, the man not in a mask, Khail Anonymous.
Oh, this is a shirt you gave me.
It did look familiar.
Yeah.
It's a little big. You're so trim, Khail Anonymous. How do you keep your trim figure?
Shrinking pills.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's going to be on the show tomorrow.
I'm a little smaller every day. So.
One day, Khail is going to actually be the size of Ant-Man.
I'm getting ready for my Ant-Man cosplay.
Perfect.
I'm super stoked for
Comic-Con's
that movie.
coming up.
Yep.
It's coming up.
And
So you got to
I'm
be.
going to be that small.
Got about like 60 days. About 2 months.
I already got my small ticket for Comic-Con.
Tiny little ticket.
And I got a little room at Comic-Con.
Little lanyard.
I'm ready to go.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, let's hit the headlines.
It's not even Thursday.
No,
Okay.
no, it's not even close to Thursday. It's not even Wednesday. We're not even close to going off the rails. So I have to tell you about this really weird and interesting story out of Sweden. This comes from the Karolinska Institute, Karolinska, in Sweden, and I thought this was super fascinating. So scientists took VR headsets, they stuck 15 people, not all at once, but one at a time into an MRI machine. They put VR headsets on them, and then they tried to give them a sort of out-of-body experience by making it look like they were in someone else's body, a stranger's body in the VR headset, okay? And what they wanted to do was, that's terrifying, it's to control threats and stuff. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to check brain activity to see if your brain would feel like you were in that stranger's body if you were using VR. So they were scanning while the experience was happening to see what your brain activity looked like.
So did it work?
Surprisingly, yes. And it was actually shockingly quick how everybody's brains adjusted to being inside the stranger's body. So this is super fascinating. So what would happen is you saw in the video, you could see 2 different sets of feet. You actually were looking at the person who's actually in the MRI machine with the VR headset on is in the background. You see them?
Yeah.
Okay, and they're seeing this point of view that we're seeing in video right now.
Right. Yeah.
So this is a stranger's body, but for all intent and purposes, they saw the same brain activity as if they were in their own body. And when they saw people threatening their body across the room, no response. They didn't think it was theirs. Like it wasn't the same. It's sort of like
feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah. It was sort of like phantom limb syndrome. So they were able. They said they would brush like a paintbrush along the legs of the stranger's body, and they wouldn't feel it. Like they would feel it as if it was their actual body. Like their brain would light up as if it was happening. So, and they would have sort of a stress response if they did the knife thing where they had like a sledgehammer like close to and their stress levels would go up in the stranger's body when they had the VR headset on, but not when they saw their body across the room inside the machine get threatened, which is weird.
Yeah, that is really weird.
It's super weird. So they also did location, those were the location tests, and I thought that the purpose of this was really fascinating. So the goal here, because I didn't think there could be a goal other than we just want to see what your brain does.
Let's just mess with some people.
Let's just see what your weird brain does. Is someday they want to be able to give a doctor in one part of the world a VR headset and controls and have it control a robot across the world and do surgery on somebody else.
That's what they're trying to do with this?
It's not trying to do it with this, but this is the start of understanding how the brain works when put into a virtual body somewhere else in another location.
Okay.
So this is
pretty removed from what they're trying to do.
This is the very beginnings of that type of research, but the very far end game of this is to be able to insert somebody into a robotic body elsewhere and have them sort of treat that robotic body as if it was their own and do things like surgery or other things that require precision hands or a lot of training, a lot of skills to do. So I thought this was so weird and so cool.
Yeah.
That they even like thought, well, maybe let's see. And like I said, it took they said the participants' brains merged touch and visual input within seconds and accepted the stranger's body almost as if it were their own.
Man, I think I would probably do that too.
I feel like I would.
If someone was to go, I'm so thirsty, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm thirsty too.
Like, oh yeah, I'm feeling a little thirsty. But yeah,
I think it's a pretty common thing.
Pretty intense. Like I think that's a cool but also very intense thing. Which actually brings us to our hashtag of the day, and I'm really curious what your answer to this is, and yours too, everybody at home. TD Robo VR, and I want to know what it would take if somebody came to you and said, I can put you, like, I can basically give you this VR headset and we're going to keep your body alive, but you're going to be able to live out the rest of your life as a robot. Would you do it? And if you might do it, what is the thing that would put you over the edge? Like, absolutely, I would totally do it if this were the case.
Yes, I would do it.
You would do it?
Yeah, without a doubt. But the question is, am I going to be like a Khail robot? Like, am I going to have...
So it would have to be you. Like, you'd have to look like you.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to live my life as this thing, I want to be able to have sex.
Okay.
I want to be able to taste food and,
Okay.
Like, I want to have the normal senses, is what I'm saying.
Okay, have senses. Okay, so that's like your tipping point to say yes. You're like, okay, if I can have all of my senses, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll live the rest of my life out as a robot.
Right. Yeah. Senses.
I
All my
think
senses.
I think I would do it if there was a way to keep me alive longer than a normal human lifespan.
But you wouldn't need the senses?
No.
You wouldn't need to feel touch, taste.
No. I just want to see it. See everything.
So you just hang out as a robot.
Yeah. Seems legit.
You're sad.
It's sad.
That's super sad.
I feel like I would enjoy hanging out with other robots. Like if I could talk to the robots, like I could talk to them. I'm saying emotions, but I'm just saying, like robots. That would be cool. I would have to have some level, because here's the thing.
You would assimilate. You just said you basically assimilate into just being a robot.
No,
you wouldn't be Ashley anymore. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm a robot.
That's not true.
Hang out with the robots.
What I'm saying is, if it were me in a robot's body, I would still have empathy because a person would be controlling it.
Yeah.
So I'd still have empathy and I'd still be able to talk to people and have emotions. But all of the sense, I don't care. I don't care. Just make me a robot. Just do it.
I'll go hang out with the robots.
Only if I could live longer than an average human lifespan, because if not, then what's the point? Then I'd rather just have my dumb old body, my big dumb old meat bag walking around.
I'd want to be like Terminator though, like normal Terminator.
Okay, normal Terminator?
And in my dream,
That's a default?
it would be T-1000.
Of course.
But, I guess.
But in real life, it would just be K-1000.
Yeah, K-1000.
K-1000.
I'll be back.
So that's the hashtag today, TD Robo VR. That's your hashtag.
All right. Okay, so let me talk about this. Let me talk about this new survival horror game, because there's nothing scarier than thinking there's something scary in your house.
That's true.
Because that's where you feel like you're safe. Well, this new AR game that is actually being crowdfunded right now works within that fear, and that it turns your house into a survival horror game.
Nope.
So basically, the game builds a map of your house using the phone's accelerometer and then builds a custom experience. It's called Night Terrors, which I think is a fantastic name for it.
Perfect.
I love it. So then basically what you do is you turn off the lights in the house or your apartment, or your house or apartment, and then you only get to use the LED on your phone, which is awesome. To navigate around. The game is designed to predict your behavior. There was a spider.
That's a giant spider.
Yeah, I know. You could just change it to be only spiders.
Yeah, I want that toggle. I'm going to email the guy.
Yeah, the spider one.
Khail needs a spider
Delete that app off my phone. So anyway, the developer's name is Brian Mitchell, and he's put in over 1,000 hours into making this app and into his computer vision system, which makes the game possible. Now, it's actually not done yet.
Okay. You said it was crowdfunded, right?
Yeah, it's on Indiegogo right now.
Okay.
For $5, and it's scheduled for delivery sometime next year. So it's not.
This looks terrifying.
It sounds amazing. as far as AR and games are and on horror games are concerned, it's really cool. And like you can just go into your house and then do a little mapping with your accelerometer,
Right,
and
it'll
then
map everything out.
walk around in your terrible, scary house and never look at your house the same way again.
Nope. Oh, this must be them making it, so they're filming like all of the different things that'll show up in the game. I don't like it. Wow, look at that.
What's really cool about this is, I mean, there's a lot of potential in this. I could see a horror movie a horror movie coming out. They could be like, put our monster in there. So, like, if you play this game, you see Slender Man or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a really good point. So he's got all these prototypes and, like, so light scanners and things. I mean, this is stuff that hasn't really been done before in AR, I would imagine. Like, all of this sort of spatial kind of scanning and awareness. And then, like you were saying, they sort of manipulate you into doing certain things in the game. Like, they're like, oh, hey, like, so if we're going to if we want you to stay still, we're going to shut the lights off and play some scary music so you can't move forward.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see this actually, like somebody walking around trying this
out.
I would super love to give this a shot.
As soon as we have access to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This looks
So there you go. Indiegogo, $5.
Cheap.
There you go.
Awesome.
Go check it out.
Love
It's
that.
definitely worth it. I think this is like one of the coolest AR game things I've seen.
That's pretty awesome.
Just hands down.
So can you imagine this being ported to HoloLens? No.
Yeah, well, the bad thing about that is if you don't know how to shut it off after you turn on your HoloLens and you're just like walking around your house.
Help me!
Help me! Somebody help! I'm trapped in my house.
Somebody finds Khail just broken.
Yeah, it's a
broken
Silent Hill.
man.
Maybe that's why they canceled Silent Hills, is because they're trying to make this.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
That would be awesome though, because Silent Hill. Basically, what happens is you're walking around, everything's normal, and then everything starts like shedding and turning rusty.
And then you hear the sound.
Yeah.
The terrible air raid horns. And then Pyramid Head shows up and stuff gets real. All right, I got to tell you about this very last thing, and then we're gonna have a little to do before we hit the break.
Mexican food because it's
a little to do. It is Cinco de Mayo. I want to tell you about Comfortably Numb. So getting shots sucks. Like it hurts, and getting like blood drawn and stuff. Anytime you get an injection, no good. It kind of hurts. So these are freshman students that had to come up with something innovative, and so they actually did. You can see this is a little device. They called it Comfortably Numb, and it works a little bit like an ice pack. So the stuff that is inside an ice pack is ammonium nitrate and water. And when you actually break you basically crackle an ice pack, you're putting those two things together, which causes an endothermic reaction, which then makes your ice pack cold.
Okay,
so they did something very similar inside this little capsule where they have two different chambers, and you twist the top of it, and it combines the two, and then there's a metal bit at the bottom, like almost a tray, that gets really, really cold. And so they hold it against your skin right before you get an injection, so it basically numbs it, okay?
Nice.
Now, obviously, the question here is like, well, what's the point of that? Why not just use an ice pack? Because just use an ice pack. Like, why would you build this thing? But what they want to do is they want, at some point, to integrate this into actual syringe caps. So you'd be able to have the end of it be that little metal bit, and you basically like crack that, combine the two substances, have the tip of the syringe get cold, hold it, and then flip the syringe around and then give you an injection. So basically, it would all be in one little package.
Very cool.
Yeah, for medical people to use. So I thought this was
nice.
really ingenious, and from, like I said, a freshman team of like three kids at Rice University. So I thought that was really interesting and cool, and something that's like kind of small, but it's like one of those kind of very tiny life improvement things where it's like, it's just a very small quality of life improvement, but also something that I thought was super cool that they kind of came up with.
That is really neat. I hate needles, so.
Yeah, I'm happy to give blood, but I hate the feeling of like getting a needle in, and you're just like, help me, like, ow, that hurts. So if they can make that less painful,
like little kids, like little kids would love this.
Little kids, elderly, because obviously their skin is thinner, so it hurts a little bit more. Stuff like that would be fantastic. So people with really sensitive skin, I mean, there are people who, when they get if they get a booster shot, or if you get a shot, your arm hurts for days sometimes from the
Yeah.
injection site. So yeah, really cool.
Very cool.
Nice job, students at Rice University. Great work.
Nice job, Bryce.
That is it for our headlines. We are going to take a quick break and come back with our new releases. But before we do that, our friends over at GameSpot want to tell you what games they are playing right now and why you should also be playing them. So we'll be right back. It's Tomorrow Daily.
I'm currently playing PT, and you should as well, because it is a entrancing and very unique horror game from Hideo Kojima. But unfortunately, it's been pulled off the PlayStation Network store. If you're lucky enough to have downloaded it, play it now. If not, find a friend or go on eBay and spend about $2,000 to get a PlayStation 4 with it on the hard drive.
So I think you guys should play Grand Theft Auto 5 online. I know the game has gotten a little bit of a bad rap and there's some questionable material in it, but playing online with your friends is just a really fun, exciting experience, especially, going through and accomplishing these really elaborate heists.
So right now I'm playing Skyrim again, this time on PC with tons and tons of graphics mods installed. So the whole purpose, of course, is to see Skyrim at its most beautiful. So if you're looking to get lost in something for a week, a month, a year, a decade, then maybe Skyrim on PC with a whole bunch of mods is the way to go.
So these days I'm really into Box Boy on the 3DS, and if you've got a 3DS, you should totally pick it up. It's $5, you download it from the eShop, and it's this really cute, like minimalist puzzle. You play as a little box with legs, and you can generate boxes to help you climb over things or snake around things, and like any good puzzle game, it kind of starts building those mechanics in there and gets more and more complex to the point where once you're solving these tough puzzles, it feels really good.
Welcome back to the show. It's Tuesday. What game are you playing right now? Of course you are. Never mind. Why did I even ask?
I don't know. I thought you were setting me up for that.
No, I just...
I thought you were shaming me.
No, I realized, of course you're playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
Of course you are.
Yes, of course.
Of course you are. Okay, so it's Tuesday. We like to talk about things that are going to be lightening our wallets this week, so let's talk about new releases.
Wait, what game are you playing right now? Was that why you brought it up?
No, I was just curious.
Oh.
Because we did the...
What game are you playing right now?
I'm playing Final Fantasy 14.
Okay, well, yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah.
We're lame. Okay,
We're
so what do we got?
Totally lame. Totally lame.
All right, so what do we got?
All right, so first up, Wolfenstein, The Old Blood is coming out today. It's out today.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein, if you want to go fight some Nazis, old school Wolfenstein. That was the very first video game I ever played.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein, Castle Wolfenstein, on my dad's computer.
Really?
It was it's so funny. Like my dad was definitely maybe.
Oh my
maybe should
God!
not-
Look how good
It's
this looks.
This is gorgeous. The gameplay looks pretty good. Apparently, it's really fun. It's getting good reviews, good notices from what I've seen. And I kind of want to play it. I haven't played a Wolfenstein game in a really long time.
This
is, I think, a
looks
prequel.
awesome.
I think this is a prequel to
Oh my
the
God.
previous. Yeah, it looks really good. So there you go.
I'm
Fight
sorry,
some-
I haven't seen this trailer.
Straight
It's
up
incredible.
fight
Oh my
some
God, he
Nazis.
shot his leg off.
I
All
know,
right.
you fight
All
some
right,
Nazis.
that's
good stuff.
On what is it? Xbox One, PC? Blah, blah?
Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. So
Okay.
you can get it on
I
Steam.
need to get a new PC.
It's
Continue.
time.
All
It's
right.
time.
Yeah, I've already been talking to a guy.
This is an interesting release. It's not technically a game, but remember the Room Alive demo from Microsoft, where they had like the people in the like in the living room, and they were like fighting stuff that was projected onto the walls and everything, and it was called Room Alive. I think we have video of this. So here's do you remember this?
Never seen this before.
Okay, so Microsoft Research had this concept called Room Alive, and I think we might have talked about it on the show, maybe. It's a little bit old.
Okay.
And so it's like, I think it's a couple of Kinects, and there's some projection technology, so scanning rooms and stuff like that, and then putting out these sort of like little games or whatever. But the point of all of this is that the code for this, the source code for Room Alive, is now open source. Microsoft has released the code for this on GitHub.
All right.
So you can go ahead and head over there and download that if you want to sort of build your own Room Alive games, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat that they sort of released that to people because they're like, well, I think maybe they kind of feel like, we're working on HoloLens. We're not really doing this anymore. Like maybe sort of the types of things you would be doing in Room Alive are things we'd rather have you doing with a HoloLens on.
Yeah.
So I think this is sort of the kind of open source public access version of, this is the thing that sort of led to HoloLens, I would imagine. But pretty cool that they released it.
I like
open
it.
Source.
Very cool. That's cool that they were actually covering it, honestly.
Yeah, I read that and I thought that was pretty awesome. That
Okay.
they were like, hey, let's give
Right
this
on.
to people and let them kind of figure out their own stuff. So hopefully
Thanks, Microsoft.
Hopefully we'll see some really awesome
Now
stuff.
send
from
me an Xbox
Progress.
One. I don't know why. Just send me one.
Just
do it.
And then, of course, movie-wise, there's like nothing really coming out this week
Oh.
because nobody wants to go up against the Avengers
Nobody
this
wants to go up
weekend,
the
and Mad
Avengers.
Max is the weekend after. So
Yeah,
just
that's good.
just go see the Avengers again this week. That's my recommendation.
Logan, you have an Xbox One?
Yes.
Okay, he's good. You don't have to send him one at Microsoft.
Just Kale, I have one
Just
as well.
me.
I have one
You have a PlayStation as well?
Yeah.
You Logan?
Yeah.
All right, so just send me a PlayStation as well at Microsoft. I know that's not your deal, but
Just to be fair.
Yeah.
Just to be fair and even, of course. Yeah, just send you both. But yeah, so that's what's coming out this week. I think some good stuff. I really do actually want to check out Wolfenstein. Looks pretty good.
yeah, that looked incredible.
It looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
So, okay, we talked yesterday about Star Wars, and we asked you guys to use the hashtag TD4, so it's time for user feedback. Okay, you guys. We asked you what storylines you wanted to see in the new Star Wars movie. Once again, as always, you did not disappoint. Frank wrote into us and said, a cameo of the three masters guiding new Jedis, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda.
Interesting.
Blue glowies?
Yep.
Get some blue glowies going.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
I like
good,
it.
it's good.
Rick wrote in and said, I want to see Kylo Ren to be a stepson to Darth Vader, and is saying revenge will be served, Father, holding the Darth Vader helmet. But let's talk about that. Who would be the mother then? Who would Darth Vader had cheated on Padme with?
Yeah, it would have to be a cheat. It would have to be like
I got it.
what?
You know, Keira Knightley was her decoy in the first. That character.
That's really good, actually.
Maybe he didn't even know it wasn't her. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe she's just tired. She had a headache one night. Padme's like, just send in my decoy. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
Go for it.
We've all been there. I have my decoy.
Kale's got a decoy. Kale's actually
You know what?
His decoy
Microsoft,
right now.
send my decoy an Xbox One and a PlayStation as well. We might as well
True story.
balance this out.
But I like that kind of idea that it's like he's related to Darth Vader. Maybe.
I
That's interesting.
actually like your fan fiction that you're writing right now.
I like my
It's good.
You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody.
good.
That can be official canon someday. Jesus wrote in and said, "Here's what I don't want to see: any mention of midi-chlorians. Star Wars is space fantasy, not hard sci-fi." Agreed.
Yeah, they probably won't ever say midichlorians ever again.
I don't think they.
They're
will.
really gonna.
I think we're gonna ignore
They're gonna
that.
walk like he's gonna be like a midichlorian store.
Let's
and
think
be
of it
walking
this
by.
way. Let's think of it this way. So in the prequels, they use the word midichlorians to describe something like sciencey they didn't really understand. Like, you know how over the last, like, let's say, like 50 years or whatever, like things have science has changed. And so let's just say it's a really old, archaic, sort of like bad way to describe the Force. And like people thought they could describe it, but really isn't. So I like to think that's just the old folks. Like in the new movies, they're like, oh, it's just old folks talking about midichlorians. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, midichlorians is now like an offensive term.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. It's like,
it-
ugh.
Old people say it. They're like midichlorians. You're like, Grandpa.
You can't say that.
They're in the
You can't
room.
say that now. The
can't
Empire's
say that.
fallen.
Yeah. I like that.
I like that.
Pre-Empire.
Pretty good. Dustin wrote in and said, I want to see R2-D2 talk. Who has not wanted that, eh?
With like a deep voice.
She's like Barry White.
Yeah. Why do you guys keep messing around? Let's just do the job we
You know,
came here to do.
Let's give it to Patrick Warburton and give him like a voice that's
Oh, yeah.
similar to the Tick.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's good. It's good. And then lastly, Dave wrote us an email and said, hey kids, wanted to throw in my 2 cents on plot lines for the new Star Wars trilogy. I'll build on Mr. Anonymous's desire to want to see Leia using the Force.
Whoop.
Warning, Will Robinson, spoilers ahead. I'd show Leia's ability with the Force building over the upcoming movies in Episode 7, maybe on a low level. Moving, say, a plate with fruit across the table to be closer to her. Maybe something so subtle people around her wouldn't even notice. Episode 8 would expand her use to the point where the climax of the film will revolve around her using the Force to save a main character or characters. Then the final episode would have the saga wrap up with Leia as the pivotal character that saves the Star Wars universe. I could see a scene with a representative of the dark side thinks he or she has ensnared both Luke and Leia kicks butt big time. The brainstorming makes me wonder if the movie isn't telegraphing Leia's use of the Force with its subtitle, The Force Awakens. That's some serious thought put into that.
You know what I realize? I don't know what I want from Star Wars.
Anymore?
No, I just don't, because I feel like there was a lot of things that I thought I wanted, and then George Lucas gave me a few of them, and I was
And
just
you're like, maybe I didn't want
I
that.
didn't want that. I don't want that. Like, whoa, we're so good at lightsaber battles. Isn't it entertaining? No.
Hey, listen, in Attack of the Clones, though, when all of those Jedi fight in the Geonosian Stadium, like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that
was
was
pretty
cool.
That was pretty cool.
And that was a moment that was like, I'm not necessarily a Jedi girl. Like, I love me some smugglers, scoundrels. Like, that's my jam. Like, I'm a Han Solo girl, not a Luke Skywalker girl. But that was.
There's a lot of Luke Skywalker girls.
I think there's a lot of girls
there?
that love
Okay.
love a Jedi, love a Jedi, and like, so I'm just not there. I love a Han Solo. That's my jam. Use a blaster. No hokey religions. You got to go that way. But I thought that scene was really cool. Like, I loved watching it, and every time I see it, even now, it's like, it makes me feel like a kid again. Like, seeing that scene. It's cool. Best segue ever.
You seriously, you lost me with the Star Wars talk.
Best segue ever. I'll take it. Fritz wrote in. Sent us this picture. He says, "Hey, Ashley and Kale, there has been construction of a new bypass going through a portion of the woods in my hometown here in Georgia. What you see here is a lone chimney standing in the middle of where the road is intended to be. All work on the project has come to a halt as county officials ponder what to do with this historic chimney. I took this picture with my iPhone 4S. PS, the main road is located 50 yards from the chimney, so I drove my car up the service road intended for the use of heavy machinery on a Sunday because the workers have the day off. I enjoy the show and look forward to every episode. Keep up the good work, Fritz."
Yeah, Fritz put in work to get this photo.
Really hard work to put in this photo, but yeah, look
And there's
how
even
cool.
a story on this little chimney here.
I like that it's just sitting there in the middle of the woods. Like, no one knew it was there. What's it attached to? What was it part of? I want to know.
Well, what's a historical chimney?
Well, maybe it's part of a historical building that no longer exists. Like a wood building that maybe
Yeah.
it just kind of disintegrated over time. I wonder how they didn't know. Like, they planned this road and they really just didn't know there was a historic chimney right in the middle of the woods? I guess not.
Yeah, they just
Kinda
started
weird.
working and then they're like, oh, the chimney.
That chimney came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I didn't even see it coming. If you guys want to send in your photography, you can email us. We're tomorrow. Are we tomorrow? We're tomorrow at cnet.com. Sometimes I forget our email address.
No,
That's us.
I forget my name.
You can also find us on social media pretty much everywhere except Snapchat or Tomorrow Daily on all those things, and Tomorrow Daily TV on Google+.
YouTube, iTunes, and if you're on those, don't forget to, subscribe and all that. So.
Yeah, all the good stuff. And you can always find us on our social media accounts. Mm-hmm. You're on Twitter, right?
Yes, I'm Jaden Smith.
And I am Joss Whedon, at Joss Whedon.
Ooh, too soon.
You know Jaden Smith quit Twitter too, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going with.
Oh, no.
2 accounts who quit Twitter. We're going to take over those handles. Those are our new hashtags. Those are our new handles.
delete my Twitter account, too.
There's no reason to live anymore. Between Jaden Smith and Joss Whedon gone, that's like 90% of my entertainment on social media.
Oh, wow.
It's a bummer. But you can find us at Kill Anonymous and at Ashley Esqueda. We will be back tomorrow. That's the show for today. We're going to bring you a bunch of science facts, science fiction, smash it together right in your face. But until then, be good humans. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.